Welcome to Albion TV's check-in for the season. As season 25 is wrapping up, we thought it would be a good idea to see where everybody is in terms of standings across all three servers. So let's just jump right into it right now with the Asia server. So season 25 here on the Asia server started off as to be expected, obviously with the fallout from season 24 and the collapse of the Plaque Coalition and the One Jin or Squad Coalition taking the reins throughout season 24. Season 25 meant that the guild upper class was being given their reward for helping One Jin in the last season. With 1.2 million season points to their name, they are on track currently to break the all-time Albion Online Guild season point record that was held last season by One Jin. All they have to do is hit 1.4 million season points, and they will be crowned and placed in the Albion Online history books as a guild that has gained 1.4 million season points in a single guild season. Hasn't all been plain sailing, as things have definitely spiced up with the final 30 days remaining of the season, as the owner of Plaque, now underneath the Pinoy flower tag, has reemerged. Obviously, Fokol leading the charge of the Hot Alliance as they've moved in to the inner ring. They've been sitting out on the outer ring in quality 2 zones pretty much this whole entire season. We have been wondering when they would make their move, and they have done, with 30 days remaining of the season, taking control of Razor Rock Chasm and the surrounding areas up through Deathswift Bog. The Hot Alliance taking control of Murder Gulch Ravine, Murder Gulch Gap, and Divide off the hands of the AR Alliance as well. But the big factor here for at least the Pinoy Flower Guild, taking control of Razor Rock Ravine, which once was the home zone of One Jin for the last season and a bit. Their HQ tinkering on the edge of being vulnerable to whacking. We'll see if it holds out for the remaining of the season. But the political landscape definitely shifting within the last 30 days of this season here on Albion Asia, with the Hot Alliance and the Jin Alliance joining forces. The MR Alliance and the 555 Alliance going at it in Dead Pine Forest as well, and the surrounding zones. So what once was a major coalition is now broken apart, and war is raging across the Outlands here on Albion Asia. While the war is raging on Albion Asia, over here on Albion Americas, we do have another contender here for the record break of 1.4 million season points. A little bit further behind currently in terms of season points, but we do have Pivas just about to break into the 1 million mark. And we do know that Africa Now has been mentioning on his personal stream constantly throughout the last couple of weeks that they are looking to try and break and gain the title of all-time season point holdings for Pivas. We'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, final point payout day is when a lot of season points go into the hands of guilds. And with the major coalition that has been formed here, obviously, over the last 4 seasons or so, with the iFurers coalition, season points will definitely go Pivas's way. Is it going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. Well, speaking of the iFurers coalition, the coalition war between iFuries and the Lonely Men has came to an end, as 20 days ago, the Guildmaster, Slayer Hater of the Lonely Men, called a guild meeting and announced publicly that they are pulling out of the season race and any sort of contention of guild ownership within the inner ring. They have now relocated out into about the quality 1 or quality 2 zones. We'll see where they end up for the next season. But Dark Bro Snag is now firmly in the hands of iFuries. with the Lonely Men's HQ also being removed just only a couple days ago. That marks the end of the coalition war here that has been raging on between these two forces for about 2 or 3 seasons now. Obviously, the major factor here for the Lonely Men is that Fax closed last season. Obviously, a major factor in the Lonely Men's collapse in terms of Zerg strength was that Fax closed at the end of last season. That removed about 300 active ZVZ players from their alliance tag. Unfortunately, with such a massive amount of numbers being removed and iFurious just growing in strength constantly, it just wasn't viable anymore for the Lonely Men to hold their position within the inner ring. And they have again bowed out. Well, speaking of coalition wars, we still have one raging here on the European server as the Take Care coalition is still fighting against the GERF coalition, but it's not all plain sailing, and we've already had some major disbands unfold even before the end of the season happening. 18 days remaining, and we did get the announcement that the Bober Alliance have now fully disbanded. That is post Gorum, which you may know from season 24. They were the season victors for season 24. They've been here ever since the server starting, living within Thunder Rock Ascent and Darkborough Snag, but they decided to bow out after a little bit of drama. So, with the main Bober zones now free for grabs, it's Contingent and the Gurf Alliance moving into Darkborough Snag and Thunder Rock Ascent. Also, part of the coalition is Sent. They are looking to move into the surrounding areas as well. This is actually a major turn of events for Sent. They have been attempting multiple times throughout the season to try and get some hideout placements down in this region for forward operating bases for these wars at different timers in the region. Obviously, Sent live all the way up north with their home zone being Shale Heath Steep. That means that's a lot of running every single timer to get down in towards the inner ring to engage in these wars that have been unfolding from 12 UTC to 14 to 16 to 18 UTC. All these different time slots have just constantly had action. Talking about those time slots, Drownfield Sink, another key area of the map, uh, going into the favor of Heralds of Valhalla of the Gurf Alliance. This used to be the home zone of Black Order. Right now, Black Order's hideout within Drownfield Sink, only 2 shields remaining as of this recording, with hideouts and HQs getting placed down by the GERF coalition. Heralds of Valhalla HQing their hideout within the zone. We also have 2 Sent hideouts. Actually, we also have 3 Sent hideouts located in this zone as well. And that's actually being utilized as a forward operating base for the attacks to unfold into 1400 UTC, which are the zones next door to Drownfield Sink. Talk about other timers. Obviously, Take Care sitting comfortably at 20 UTC over in Razor Rock Gulch and Razor Rock Ravine. These territories hardly touched at this timer throughout this season, gaining a massive amount of raw energy. 18,000 in Razor Rock Gulch and 15,000 in Razor Rock Ravine currently. Will they be attacked towards the end of the season as potentially guilds look to deny them more season points? We'll wait and see. And talking of season points and the season overview, Take Care, if everything goes their way, will indeed be season victors. Black Order is the question mark for their placement here. Obviously, with the coalition battle happening between the Alliance and the GERF Alliance at the moment, Black Order sitting in second, Heralds of Valhalla sitting in third. All eyes on final point payout day as Heralds of Valhalla look to deny Black Order that second place placement. With the battle lines drawn in the ongoing coalition war, we already have guilds announcing their closure at the end of this season. As mentioned, Bober Alliance has folded with Postgorum disbanding today. Take Care also announcing that they will be closing at the end of the season. We'll see if that actually is true or not. Because weirdly enough, Sanctuary, which have been living over in the western side of the map, that had joined underneath the alliance only a couple days ago, announced that they're closing and actually merging into Take Care. Now, that's a bit of a questionable play because obviously Take Care announced that they're closing at the end of the season. Why would a guild merge into a guild that's announced their closure? We don't know. It could be that Take Care is playing some sneaky games. We'll wait and see. But Sanctuary being led there, we've watched Zerku and the boys do some fantastic things throughout the last couple seasons. Sad to see them go, but we'll see where they end up going forward. So yeah, a couple guilds already announcing that they're closing at the end of the season as the coalition grip on the Outlands loosens. We'll see where everybody ends up and what guilds announce their push for season 26 as we come towards the end of season 25. And that is the wrap up here for the current state of season 25. Obviously, still about 2 weeks remaining, and the final point payout day still to come at the end of the season. Plenty more still on the line to play for. And obviously, we'll see how things play out and what happens with the start of season 26. As the seasons are changing just a little bit differently, going from a 3-month period down to a 2-month period, that could encourage the guilds to play for the season a little bit more. We'll see how things unfold during season 26.